So, Aries, sending you love, light, and Reiki. This is your Oracle Medicine here to divine the message for you in the week of February 12th to the 18th, 2017. And we began the week with the Seven of Cups. So we're reaching for the stars right now. We're reaching for our dreams. Our dreams are going to come true. And the whole idea right now is to believe and to remain steadfast. We don't know whether or not what we're reaching for is real or not. It could very well be illusion. It can very well just be in our head. But we have something that we're looking towards. And the most important goal here is to remain steadfast. Believe in what it is that you are reaching for. Even if it doesn't seem to be real, how can you figure out how to make that real? In what way can you make it real for yourself? In what way can you bring your dreams? Reaching for it, keeping your eye on the prize there. That's kind of the important part here. Reaching for your dreams, reaching for that relationship to happen, reaching for it, going for it, believing in it, having faith, without a doubt. And then we get towards the middle of the weekend, we get the Page of Swords. So is this a new time for learning different ways to communicate, experimenting with different ways to communicate for some of you? Or some of you have technologies in your hands right now, new computers, new phones, a new car, a new oven, a new stove, a new microwave, something that you're not necessarily familiar with in the technology center that you're kind of learning now how to work with it. You're learning all the different techniques, you're learning all the different gadgets and stuff that comes with it and how to work with it. Is it some of you learning how to communicate, this is a new way for you to communicate, this is a new way for you to think, a new way of believing and thinking and learning how to relay and how to speak your truth given these new ways, giving these new thoughts, these new ideas, these new inspirations that you're having. How are you communicating them? Experimenting with that. This is a time for experimentation, experimenting with learning how to communicate. For some of you, you might be receiving a message through a letter or by phone or by someone relaying a message to you, by text even, or in person. But you're going to be receiving a message sometime earlier on this week. And this message will more than likely be helping in a way to move you towards a certain direction you're trying to move towards. Is it perhaps helping you towards your dreams right now? Are you having some dreams and aspirations right now, my dear Aries, that this message here is actually going to be helping you move towards? So it's probably not going to be a huge one, right? It could be, but it's going to be a small step in the right direction for you. And then we get the Queen of Wands, and we get her in reverse. So this is a time where one is lacking the energy to get things going from the ground up. Develop things from the ground up. This is something that has to start, right? I mean, you're reaching for a dream, right? You're reaching for a dream. You don't really know necessarily what you're doing with it with the Page of Cups. You don't necessarily know how to get there. This is kind of something that you're learning how to shift gears here. So this is kind of all experimental for you. And so kind of putting your energies into it when you're still in the learning process could be causing you some friction. It could be causing you some trouble because you're just not sure in which way to go, perhaps, in order to make things happen. You're still learning what that means to get towards this dream, to get towards this relationship, to get towards this goal you're trying to get to. You could still be learning about what that means. It's very experimental for you. Okay, so you don't necessarily have the seasoned energy, life force, or faith that you need in it, because at the same time, we're going back to the Seven of Cups wondering, hey, is this real? Is this something that can be obtained? I'm still not sure yet here with the Seven of Cups. I'm still not sure yet. You know, I know that it's something I want, but I'm not necessarily sure that I'm going to be able to get it. And so when there is that uncertainty, you know, there is this lack, if you will, of being able, you're not necessarily feeling all the motivation that you could be feeling or probably should be feeling in order to get you towards this dream going on. Because things are kind of coming up new for you and you're still trying to understand what it all means. For some of you in your life who might have people in your life right now, is this person being a little sluggish, on the sluggish side? Are they lacking energy? Are you trying to motivate them and they're just not getting going or getting moving, but you're trying to be motivating, getting them going and getting moving? Is this a time where you're trying to, where is this a person that is in your life, for some of you Aries, that could be perhaps a little bit on the bullying side? They can be perhaps a little bit on the, I don't want to say vindictive, but they'll start to do and say things because they're not getting their way. Could it be you as the Aries? Queen of Wands does represent the Aries in the courts, so this could be you as the Aries who is lacking energy and not getting your way. Could you be reacting to people in an angry way? Could you be reacting to your group because you're like, I'm not getting the attention that I want or need? You know, it's causing hot buttons to be pressed inside of me. Things are not going the way that I necessarily would like them to go. And sometimes we can react in that kind of, I don't know, we can react in that kind of childish, tyrannical, you know, thing. We get angry, we stamp our feet, we start punching stuff, we start getting angry and getting loud and getting very irritable because things aren't going necessarily the way that we want them to go. And then we get the Knight of Swords in reverse. So this is expressing a time where you might want to think twice about traveling on that plane. Some of you that might be going on a plane to somewhere, you might want to think twice about it. For some of you, what I'm seeing happen here is that you kind of started out with this idea here in the beginning of the week with the Seven of Cups. You kind of begin with this idea. You kind of had this thing that you were trying to reach for, this goal, this dream that you finally felt like you can reach for, and some way, somehow this opened up. It caused you some new ways in which you communicate, some new ways, or you received some new messages that probably went towards supporting this new dream, this new goal, this new relationship that you're having right now, or the kind of, or I don't even necessarily want to say new per se, but this could be something that you finally feel like you can reach for, if you will, and you're receiving different ways in which you can communicate that. And then for some of you, you might not be too happy about that. You know, things might not necessarily be going the way that you want them to go, and so you might be reacting in a very bad way. And what I'm seeing here is with the Knight of Swords is I'm seeing, because our energies are not going into a positive direction, the communication that we now have, a little bit more seasoned maybe than the Page of Swords, is still a little bit more false. It's not real. You know, we're unable to communicate things the right way because our energies are just not there with it, is what I'm seeing. You know how sometimes when you're in a bad space, when you're in a bad head space, or your heart is in a bad heart space, and so it's hard for you to communicate things in the way that you should be communicating things, or in a healthy way, in a way that you need to communicate things. That's kind of what I'm seeing right now. Like this dream that you see, it's here, you know, but something's happening along the lines that's causing it to be very disheartening for some of you, and so you're kind of reacting in an opposite way, or you kind of have people in your life that's reacting in an opposite way. Now, what's coming up now, what I'm hearing for some of you now, is that your dream and your new way of communicating could be causing other people in your life to react in a certain way. You know, sometimes that happens. We get so focused on a goal, right? And we're headed towards that goal. And of course, you might have people along the way that aren't going to be too happy about where you're going, even though that's where you're going. So these could be expressing people in your life right now that, you know, they're not too happy about where you're going. They don't agree with it. They wish you wouldn't put your energies there. They're trying to convince you and talk you out of it. You're like, no, this is my thing. This is what I'm doing. I believe in this. I'm moving forward with this. So that could very much be happening with you. And then as we head towards the end of the week, we get the Chariot. Why am I not surprised that this card pops up from Spirit at the end of the week? This card is all about remaining steadfast. It means being still within oneself, being calm no matter what the good or bad comes your way, staying calm and being in that place of center within oneself in order to keep things moving in the direction that you'd like to keep them moving. So I'm not very surprised that this card came up for you towards the end of the week. It's very important that you remain still within yourself and focused within yourself, no matter what obstacles come your way. We're always going to deal with obstacles because that's an earth-based thing. Being in the physical middle realm, we're always going to have obstacles to deal with. But the overall point here is to remain steadfast within those obstacles. Even in those times of trial and error, remain steadfast. You're obviously going to have some trial and error here with the Page of Swords. That's okay. Everything is going to be just fine. Just remain steadfast. And the message we get here is Heideke's door. A knock on the door. Oh, I'm kind of excited for I haven't really read this one, so I want to know what it says in the passages. But look, we have this little green dragon here, cute little green dragon, that is here at the door, and it's a really beautiful, beautiful Heideke's door, number 33. I'm going to open that one up and share it with all of you, my lovely Aries people, my seekers of the Aries kind. Here we are. Heideke speaks. I know you wish to reach out, and yet you hold back. I know you feel drawn to knock on this door and to see whether it will be answered this time. And yet you fear so much. You fear that it will not be answered, that the answer or the face that appears beyond the door will not be to your liking, that if you enter, you may never return. I cannot put your fears to rest, for only you can do that. But I can tell you what I see. I see a spirit whose flame has flickered low, whose light is in danger of going out if it does not take the next step. For years you have passed this door, and many times you have found yourself here. You may even have knocked at the door, only to flee, like a terrified child, before the door was opened to you. I say to you now, it is time. Reach out, knock at that door, and let what will be. I'm chuckling because it's just amazing to me how spirit is just so interconnected with what's going on here. It's just amazing to me how the Oracle sends the exact right spirit to work with, you know, given this week. It's just amazing to me. Spirit just amazes me every time. So a little bit about Heideke here. Heideke is a powerful wee Dragonfae who dwells much of the time in the east. With the fear of dragons that was prevalent so much in the west, he stayed away, servicing those who respected what he brought with him, the possibility for new beginnings, and of chance taken and delight found. Now the times are changing, and at last Heideke can spread his beautiful doorways between worlds into the west and even beyond. These doors are between seasons, between worlds, between night and day, and are of transitions and chances. He now wishes to bring to you the chance for being fortune brought through brand new opportunities. For good fortune brought through brand new opportunities. His divinatory meanings say, nervous about a new chance, feeling as though your comfort zone is far better than the unknown, longing to travel and to change, yet unwilling to do anything about it. Procrastinations and old habits keep you from reaching out and accepting what is being offered. You are ready. It is simply nerves that are holding you back. Conditioned fears and internalized voices from the past. Reach out, take a hold of the handle, and be ready for the wonder of the unknown that lies beyond the door. The doors of perception are about to change forever. Now, working with Heideke says, working with astral travel, moving between dimensions, changing jobs, careers, applying for new positions, reaching out for new friendships, going out of your comfort zone and exploring what lies beyond where you have ventured before. Get ready for wonderful new opportunities. Yes, tests and challenges. But how wondrous and adventurous and exciting life is about to become. You have nothing to fear, except fear freezing your hand again. This time, knock on the door. Heideki will be with you and knows that you are about to enter a magical realm, utterly different to what you have been told and how you have imagined it to be. This is real magic. It's just so magical how Spirit just knows who to come your way. Okay, like I don't even ask for these. I'm amazed every day when I do these readings for you, who comes your way to assist you. Heideki sounds like sounds like a very, very helpful spirit for you at this time. Sounds like a little cute little dragon there. And he's just saying to open the door. You know, yeah, you're reaching for something that you're unsure about. You don't know if it's real or not. You don't know if it's obtainable about. But how many times do you pass by opening this door before you finally open the door? And how many fears kind of go behind that, right? We're worried about what people are going to say, what people are going to do, how they're going to feel, and, you know, what kind of relationships are going to withstand through that. You know what? At the end of the day, whose life is this? You or someone else's? So work with Heideki if you choose. I definitely would love to know how Heideki has worked with you. Seems like a very lovely spirit. And I look forward to seeing you next reading. Sending you love, light, and Reiki. This is your Oracle Medicine. Ta-ta. Bye-bye for now. Aho Matakiase.